Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Invite opening ceremony today, here in the Chemical Park in Leverkusen. My name is Dirk van Merwene. I am the Managing Director of Biotechnology Services. And as most of you know, Biotechnology Services teamed up with the Technical University in Dortmund to shape and realize this project. Therefore, I would especially like to welcome Professor Gater, President of the Technical University in Dortmund. Also a very warm welcome to Mr. Doctor, Deputy Minister for Innovation, Science and Research in North Rhine-Westphalia, and of course a warm welcome to Professor Plischke, member of the Bayer's Board of Management. A warm welcome also to the ladies and gentlemen of the press and media who kindly followed our invitation. Invite, ladies and gentlemen. The name itself seems already to be proven when I look at the big audience today. You all followed our invitation, and I would say congratulations to the team who organized this event, did an excellent job, and you will see it later on that we really have something to demonstrate here, and thank you all very much for coming. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we witness a moment of innovation. Innovation for sustainable chemistry. A dream of many of you sitting here today has finally come true. Some years ago, some people had a real vision on innovation, and today we witness the realization. You as European leaders of the chemical and pharmaceutical industry, and you as top-ranked partners in academia, you initiated a process to cross borders and join forces to work on manufacturing of the future. The manufacturing of the future on new, sustainable and flexible production processes. Looking at less energy consumption, better resource efficiency, lower production cost, higher flexibility, and in the end, more competitiveness for the industry. A development that really enables the industry to faster react on future market demands. Also due to the strong financial commitment and support of the European Union and our state government of North Rhine-Westphalia, we today see this dream come true in terms of Invite's home in the middle of Europe. With this image of crossing borders, this house of Invite is built right on the borderline of the chemical park, linking the strong chemical backbone of Bayer on one side with all partners on the other side. We therefore really like to invite, in the truest sense of the word. We invite all stakeholders involved to follow and shape, in a spirit of open innovation, this new path for the chemical and pharmaceutical industry. I truly believe that this research center can count on your support and will become a leading international research hub and an innovation company. I would like to say all the best to Invite, all the best to the Invite team. Once again, thank you very much for joining today. Enjoy this day of innovation, and as such, I would like to pass the word to Professor Plischke. Thank you very much.
Dear Rector Gater, dear Deputy Minister Doctor, dear Mr. van Merwene, dear guests, on behalf of the Group Board of Management of Bayer, it is also a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the opening of the Invite Research Center. Today you have come to a very special place. It is unique for the Chem Park site here in Leverkusen and for Bayer. This is not only due to its unusual location, which we have already heard about, being only half inside the Bayer premises and half outside of it. Mainly Invite is different because we want to establish here a very new public-private partnership to develop new solutions in chemical and biological process technology. And developing new solutions, or in other words, bring innovative, is at the core of our business. Our mission is Bayer Science for a Better Life. This means that we strongly believe in harnessing scientific innovation to address the challenges of our times as well as those of the future. By 2030, the world population is expected to have increased by 20%. All of these people have to be fed, they need access to new medicines, and they will consume energy and water. With today's products and technologies, we will surely not be able to provide for all of their needs in appropriate quantity and quality. We need new solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, these are precisely the reasons that the chemical and pharmaceutical industry in Germany invests nearly 10 billion euros for research and development every year, with Bayer being the biggest spender in this group. And this number increases steadily, year by year, independent of economic cycles and the financial crisis. But money is only one aspect. At least as important are the answers to the questions: how do we spend our money and where do we spend it? So how do we spend our money with Invite? Today, the necessary scientific knowledge for driving innovation cannot be held solely by a single company. It is simply too expensive. Consequently, we need partnerships with experts in various fields of interest, no matter where they are based. We need a truly open innovation environment. Such a vision surely goes way beyond simple fee-for-service relationships. Today, it is important to create real partnerships. Jointly, we have to create conditions where innovation can be hatched and grown. That is the concept of Invite. Here we created a partnership between two strong players: the Technical University of Dortmund on the one hand and Bayer Technology Services on the other. This alone would be a fruitful match, as numerous joint projects in the past have shown. But Invite goes far beyond this. Invite creates an open platform where other academic and industrial partners can join and work together. In this open, creative and interdisciplinary environment, we are convinced that we will combine the necessary knowledge and the right spirit to create innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, the second question was, where do we spend our money? First of all, we have to spend a part of it on the education of young people. This is the most important investment in our future that one can think of. We are very happy that Invite will offer, together with the Technical University of Dortmund, an opportunity to teach students about the latest technologies right at the place where they are developed and realized. I firmly believe that this is very valuable to improve the education of the scientists of tomorrow. Another important aspect when allocating resources is always to be focused, but never be narrow-minded. These days, we discuss a lot about resource efficiency. We do that for very good reasons. But in doing so, we should not forget about other important topics to help address the challenges of the future. This is especially true for the healthcare sector and in searching for solutions to ensure the availability of an adequate food supply. Therefore, Invite will be an open platform for process technology and will work on the practical realization of scientific knowledge in different fields. The ultimate goal of our combined forces will always be to enable the application of R&D results and to ensure the transfer of innovation into practice. Invite strives to be a leading center of innovative process development in the chemical and pharmaceutical industry. We start with the focus on chemical processes, as in the projects F3 Factory and Correct. But with Invite, we already see the potential today to unlock more. The next topics on the agenda will deal with the establishment and application of biotechnological breakthroughs, as already planned with the Moby Dick project, aiming to expand the work here from pure chemical to modular bioproduction. As the Invite facility, this project is sponsored by the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. Dear Deputy Minister Doctor, we are particularly happy and proud that the governments of Germany and North Rhine-Westphalia are supporting Invite, and with that help to establish an important new way of collaboration for the sake of our region and our country. We in Germany are part of a very competitive global environment. Therefore, I believe it is exemplary that Invite, academia, industry, and the public sector jointly support the realization of technology. We surely should foster and expand this collaborative approach in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, with these projects ahead of us, I'm more than confident that we will all have a fascinating time here at the Invite facility today. I wish Invite, especially Dr. Bieringer, his co-workers, and all the future partners of Invite a successful start, and that little bit of luck, serendipity, as scientists usually call it, that everyone needs in research and development. I'm looking forward hearing soon about the first innovative results. Thank you very much. I now have the great pleasure to hand over the stage to Professor Gater, proprietor of Invite and rector of the Technical University of Dortmund. Thank you.
dear Professor Blischke, dear Dr. von Merwenne, dear Deputy Minister, Mr. Doctor, ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely pleased and happy to be with you here today to open this research center Invite. In January 2010, TU Dortmund University and Bayer Technology Services jointly established the company Invite. And only some 20 months later, we are gathered here in the building next to this tent, of course. We are gathered here, and we will be in this building in a few minutes, a building which will bring together scientists from academia and industry to accelerate progress in chemical engineering. I'm absolutely sure that this corporate facility will further increase the profits which our partnership has already realized, not only for both our institutions, but also for society. I am, as Professor Blischke, I am convinced that Invite will turn out to be an excellent example of a public-private partnership. So, what is a public-private partnership? This term originally described cases in which a private party provided infrastructure for a government service. Invite is different. This can easily be seen by the fact that, in this case, government provides the infrastructure. So you may be wondering what kind of public-private partnership we have got here. How does TU Dortmund University profit from this partnership? What can we, on the other hand, provide for a private company, and how is society involved? Let me start with the first question. What role does TU Dortmund University play in this partnership? Well, it is the purpose, the very purpose of a university to create new knowledge through research. And then it is also the purpose of a university to transfer this new knowledge through education. Let me say that in the area of chemical engineering, TU Dortmund University fulfills both these functions already in an excellent way. Our faculty of biochemical and chemical engineering is the largest one in Europe. More than 1,000 students are enrolled in our degree programs here, and around 30 young researchers earn their PhD degree from this faculty every year. And thus, they strongly contribute to the scientific progress in chemical engineering. Since, and most of you know that, engineers can hardly copy their theses from newspapers. Neither are mathematicians, by the way. I'm a mathematician by education. Well, a university could educate students and carry out research just on its own, without ever establishing any contact to a single company. However, with this ivory tower approach, our education might not be adequate for the job market of the future, and our research might even fail to solve relevant problems in society. The close partnership, however, with an industrial company like Bayer Technology Services helps TU Dortmund University to keep its education and research up to date, as I really feel. Our students thus learn the skills they need in today's modern job market, and our research questions, these research questions, are derived from current practical problems like industry envisages them. Some critics misunderstand this as market orientation. Let me call it on the road check. If universities university research is applied to practical problems, it can generate innovation. Of course, a university does not have something like a master plan for achieving a breakthrough or something like this. And I do know that our partners do know that as well. But our researchers can analyze problems from a different point of view. They can combine various perspectives and different points of view. And they can draw new conclusions from basic research. But to explain the innovation potential, which I do see here, I would like to give you a small example and would like to have you look at the lab of Gabi Sadowski, Professor Gabi Sadowski, who is also a professor at our Faculty of Chemical Engineering. As some of you might know, Gabi Sadowski recently received the Leibniz Prize, the most important research prize in Germany, and her area of expertise is thermodynamics, and she works at the interface of natural sciences and engineering. Through basic research, she developed a model to predict the conditions for either mixing or separating chemical substances. So her work made it possible to apply these models to polymer systems. Now known as PC Soft, the model has become an industrial standard and is used in software packages today. And this is what I mean. This is how university research can accelerate progress in industry. So, as partners, already we do know what to expect from each other. Researchers from biotechnology services and from TU Dortmund University are already engaged in various cooperations projects, and those have been mentioned here today. For example, the EU-funded project F3 Factory. Moreover, biotechnology services is sponsoring an endowed professorship in the Faculty of Chemical Engineering, and we are really thankful for that. Further, our cooperation is meant to be continued. And we are planning a leading-edge cluster, cleantech. I would like to thank Biotechnology Services here for the trust you put in the innovation potential of TU Dortmund University. In addition, I would also like to thank another partner, the State of North Rhine-Westphalia. The State's Ministry, as has been mentioned already, provided the funding for the research center Invite. The state's government had made the decision to support Invite in early 2009, at the peak of the world's financial crisis. The funding was meant as an investment into the future, and I'm really confident that this will pay off. With Invite, there is no longer something like a valley of death between university research and its application in industry. And I repeat with pleasure, this research center will accelerate the transfer of knowledge from academia into industry. And Invite will also improve the education of highly skilled personnel. This, of course, will help to ensure our state's competitiveness in the chemical industry, and then your investment will pay back, I guess. All in all, this public-private partnership of a new kind, of a new type, in which TU Dortmund University and Biotechnology Services are engaged, will not only create innovation, it is, as I've mentioned and really explained, it is an innovation in itself. Hence, we are indeed confident that it will become a best practice model for fruitful cooperation between industry and university. And I thank all of you who have made this possible. Everybody, the workers, the personnel, those who organize this wonderful celebration. Thank you so much, and good luck for the future.
Dear Professor Grata, dear Dr. van Merwenne, dear Dr. Plischke, distinguished guests. I'm very happy that I can be here today to offer my congratulations on the opening of Invite GmbH, the Research Center for Process-Intensive Technologies. Congratulations also on behalf of my minister, Svenja Schulze, who has asked me to bring you her greetings. It is a year ago since the minister's first visit to Invite. Back then, the foundations had just been laid. Today, we have a building here that links the test facility, laboratory, lecture theatre and offices in a functional and innovative way. The first container-seized experimental plants will be going on stream in the days ahead. I'm glad that the construction of the Invite building had been made possible through the second federal and state economic stimulus package. Of a total of 6.5 million euros, some 5 million were provided by the German and North Rhine-Westphalian government with a long-term aim to secure jobs by overhauling infrastructures. I'm confident that this has been a wise investment in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, by rights, we should have been talking during the first half of this year about the speed of the chemical boom, but the situation has now changed dramatically. The current debate about the crisis of the euro, gloom on the financial markets and fear of an imminent recession combine to create a menacing scenario. At the moment, views on outlook and solutions vary greatly, but there is one thing we can do, and that is to reflect on how we in Germany, but above all in North Rhine-Westphalia, successfully dealt with the last financial crisis. The credit crunch revealed that Germany, owing to its strong industrial base, was able to weather the crisis better than other countries. The state government aims to retain this crisis resistance. The chemical industry features outstanding in this effort. It is among North Rhine-Westphalia's strongest points because it is innovative and always at the cutting edge. It's not only the production side that makes the chemical sectors part of the mainstay of North Rhine-Westphalia's position as a business location. We are also proud to be an outstanding center of science and research, something I never tire of pointing out, along with the fact that we have the largest concentration of universities and research establishments in Europe. As a major player in the engineering and natural sciences, Dortmund Technical University contributes to that in a big way. Ladies and gentlemen, the chemical industry has an important role contributing to the urgent ecological modernization of our state. Let me give you some examples. Our economy, still largely based on oil, needs the chemical sector's know-how in order to replace oil with renewable resources. Insulation materials produced by the chemical industry are needed for building remediation. Electric transport is inconceivable without powerful energy storage systems such as new batteries. I could go on, but those examples are enough to emphasize. In order to tackle the energy U-turn, to create a future worth living, we need intelligent handling of resources and energy. We need efficiency and recycling. And for that, we need solutions from the chemical industry. They are capable of providing us with the best possible bespoke solutions to improve quality of living for us and for our children as well. Critical to success, however, is that research and findings, the new knowledge, is swiftly translated into applications, products and services. This takes efficient transfer to industry and society, an area where there are still some considerable shortfalls. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a brilliant idea that Dortmund Technical University joined Biotechnology Services GmbH in a company designed to implement such efficient transfer, a joint research faculty. In this working group, flexible and efficient production techniques will be developed and trialed that enable the consumption of resources to be reduced. The project had been triggered by the close cooperation under the F3 factory umbrella, the factory of the future. The project involves 25 partners from all over Europe, a quarter of them from North Rhine-Westphalia. The Invite Research Center has been designed to trial modern production plants under laboratory conditions, closing the gap between research and industrial application. This exemplary approach is a case in point when it comes to hands-on newcomer support. The Invite Research Center is a way of investing in an innovating structure of cooperation between university and industry, aiming to bridge the gap between research, application, and training in the field of process-intensive technologies. Knowledge is created and passed on at the interface to application, that is production. The Invite Research Center, with its small and medium enterprise characteristics, serves as an important flywheel for progress towards an increasingly sustainable energy and economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Invite Research Center is an investment in the future of process-intensive technologies. May Invite expand on this success and have a long and promising future. Thank you very much.
of the future look like? Isn't that an interesting question? My name is Thomas Bieringer. I'm the Managing Director of Invite. And I would like to take the opportunity to share with you a couple of thoughts to the factory of the future. And I thought when we talk about the future, it would be good, first of all, to have a look back to the past. And let's start with our life science industry. So welcome to our external guests from the pharmaceutical industry and to our guests from Bayer Healthcare and Bayer Crop Science. What you see in this picture is part of the pharmaceutical production of Bayer in the year 1947, a so-called batch production. And if you compare it with a modern batch setup, well, we see some differences. On the left-hand side, for instance, we see people. On the right-hand side, not. But the basic principle of this setup is quite similar. A tank where different chemical components are mixed, steered, and react together. So generations of engineers and chemists know how to deal with these kind of processes, and even with their disadvantages. Batch processes are established, validated, and basically good. Which leads me to my first hypothesis. We also will see batch processes in the factory of the future. They will find their spot, especially for established products. So let's switch to the industry of high volume chemistry and polymers. Welcome again to our guests from this industry and our friends from Bayer Material Science. And what you see here is the polycarbonate production of Bayer's integrated site in Shanghai. And basically that's my second hypothesis on the factory of the future, because what you see is a factory of the future. Because in the future it will be of course necessary to produce low-cost material in highly efficient world-class, world-scale plants. So why we are here today and opening a company focusing on the development of new production concepts? Well, we've seen it in the trailer and we experience this on every working day. There is a lot of going on in our industry. We live in a highly dynamic and volatile market environment with increasing global competition, especially from the emerging markets. We have to face scarce resources. We see a trend toward individualizations. Our products got increasingly diverse and specialized. We have to deal shorter life cycle and for good reasons deal with sharper regulatory requirements. All this is affecting already right now our day-to-day business, and it will affect the business in the future. So as a manufacturing industry, we have to take measures, among others, to shorten our time to markets, our development time and costs, all our costs, and basically to deal with the trend toward individualization by new increasing processes which gives us manufacturing flexibility. The good message is that we've seen to do that a lot of technological progress in the last couple of years. And just to give you one example. What I have here in my pocket is a mixing device. Not much bigger than a sugar cube, but it can mix up to 25 liters an hour. So with this tiny device, we can mix 200 tons a year in a continuous mode. So clear industrial drivers, substantial technological progress. This ultimately leads to the fact, and we heard it already from the last presentations, that 25 partners from industry joined forces in a pre-competitive R&D consortium, the F3 Factory Consortium, with the aim to demonstrate the industrial applicability of these new continuous process technologies. So welcome to our guests from the F3 Factory Consortium. I'm especially looking forward to 3 very interesting days with you because we will start a consortium meeting this afternoon with a joint workshop. When we look for a technological headline of this F3 Factory Consortium, I think most of the partners would agree to the word process intensification. But what is process intensification? There are thousands of definitions out there, and I would like to share with you my favorite one. Process intensification is something like on that picture. Doing more, using less space and time. But of course, the colleagues in the F3 Factory Consortium don't interpret it like that, the young people in the phone box, but we rather see it in taking advantage of these new technologies to use them in a continuous and modular processing. This bears a lot of advantages, be it from a technological point of view. Technologically, we have here a very high surface compared to the volume, which means that we can make reactions in these kind of things which otherwise wouldn't be possible. This ultimately leads to the fact that we can create new chemicals that wouldn't be possible in the traditional way. So we can do more in smaller devices. And we even can do it faster because the heat and mass transfer rate is much higher in these small devices. So we can do more using less space and time. This also has ecological benefits due to the inherent safety of those small devices and because of the higher resource efficiency we can provide. But the most striking point is the economic potential. And here I only would like to stress and highlight one point. The point is that there are studies outside that really prove that we can save almost every cost factor with these kinds of approaches. The bottleneck is also studies so far are performed in very specific examples, mostly in, let's say, test experiments. So from a technological and industrial point of view, this is more or less theory and textbook knowledge. And exactly here, the F3 Factory Consortium comes into play. Because what the partners would like to achieve is to prove in a real industrial application purpose where these kinds of processes are beneficial and where they work or where they don't work. Which is an effort, a major effort, but we all believe that it's worthwhile basically due to two reasons. Both of those reasons have a kind of paradigm shift. The first paradigm shift is the way we think about R&D. And I'm not talking about replacing traditional chemical R&D as most of us learned during university with test bulbs and tubes. I'm talking about performing additional experiments for reaction where the high heat and mass transfer rate are beneficial. The benefit is we can use the same equipment in our labs as we would later on use in our production site. So a lot of these plates are used in a pilot plant and even more in a container later in the production. Which means that we can translate the lessons learned in our labs faster in our productions. There are numbers out there. Some experts believe that one can decrease the time to market by 50%. Bringing products to the market in half the time, that really would be an enormous economic beneficial for all chemicals. And by the way, we also could shift our development risk to earlier project phase, because we will see already in our laboratory whether our devices will work and deliver or not, which basically means that we also reduce our development costs. On the right-hand side, you see for the first time a kind of container where we believe that this element might be in the future a very important additional way for production. And you easily can imagine the flexibility encoded in the system. You can hook up a container on a truck or on a ship and can enter in this way new application areas, new market, emerging markets, for instance. The second paradigm shift is more or less derived from this one, because the second paradigm shift is the way we think about increasing production capacity. And I would like to explain it with a slide comparing the economics of a traditional plant with that of our modular systems. You see, the idea of increasing capacity is just to number up the amount of containers, or if the market need decreases, to shut down a couple of containers or use them for other purposes. This might be beneficial for small scales This is definitely not beneficial for large scale, where world scale plants will produce for unbeatable low prices. But there might be an application window where we can pair our flexibility with favorable economics. And again, we are here at the core question of the F3 factory projects. Because all the partners in the project would like to spot which processes and which applications these are where we have this better economics and the flexibility. So far, so good. There is, however, one important element missing. And that's quite simple, because even if we assume that all of our partners will find the ideal situation, the ideal solution for their individual problem, it's most unlikely that we will manage to implement the system in the whole chemical industry. The reason is quite simple, because if it takes another 4-year major consortium work to solve the next couple of chemical problems, this will never spread out. So this system only will survive if we find solutions that are fit for purpose or fit for multiple problems. And this is something which makes the F3 factory consortium unique. Because what the partners are looking for is kind of standardized solutions, which one company alone would never be possible to achieve. So what our goal is together to join forces in a pre-competitive way and find these kind of solutions, or to find something which we really can put as a kind of learning curve or the basement for our industry. Well, to do all that, we not only need those processes, we also need tools, standardized tools, to measure the proof of concept. And in that sense, today is a kind of milestone for our F3 consortium, because what we present you today is a company, a platform, where we make these standardized methods, these standardized tools for this proof of concept studies. This platform is called Invite, which is an acronym for innovation, vision, and technology. And it's a real open innovation platform, as we already heard, because it's a public-private partnership and not for-profit organization set up as a 50-50 joint venture between Bayer Technology Services and the TU Dortmund. And let me make this important point already right now. It is for us very important and even a great pleasure to have Bayer Technology Service and the TU Dortmund as our partners. And I think I'm really looking forward to continue this cooperation in the same trustful way as we had before. Invite also describes the way how we would like to work in the future, because we would like to invite all our partners to utilize our platform for the development and the demonstration of new process technologies. But let me slow down for a moment and first of all give you a kind of virtual tour through our building. We are currently located here at the backside of our pilot plant. The pilot plant is a core element of the building. It can test the feasibility of up to 6 containers, ISO-norm containers, 20 foot each. So we have 3 docking stations and we can hook up 2 containers on each docking station. The pilot plant is an X-zone protection, so we can use any chemicals in there. And it is together with a small analytical laboratory at the backside of it, as we already heard, within the Bayer Chem Park, which basically has 2 big advantages. First of all, we can hook on the energy backbone of the Chem Park. And second, even more important, we can utilize the high safety standards of the Chem Park. All the rest of the building is outside the Chem Park, so the Bayer fence more or less cuts our building into 2 parts. Or let's put it in the right perspective. We can provide you as our guest an open access and easy access to our building. You can enter our lecture hall, which is space for 45 students or people. You can go to our showroom or meeting center, or you can enter to our office building in the first floor to enter into discussion with our team. The advantages: projects like F3 Factory will be over, but with Invite we right now have a platform that really continues, and what we can do here is to build on the experience that we gathered during our public funding projects and expand it in cooperation with our partners. So Invite is more than just a demonstration center for technical and economical feasibility of our production things. We're also setting up Invite as a research center for innovative process technologies, be it in pre-competitive projects like the F3 Factory project, or even in bilateral cooperations with our external partners. And, we heard this as well, Invite will be a training facility. Because we consider it really as crucial to sensitize the students and experts from industry to the paradigm shifts I mentioned of these new technologies. As Mr. Plischke mentioned, investment in the education of our students is a very, very important investment in this spirit we have here. Together with our colleagues from the TU Dortmund and with other leading universities in Europe, we're setting up our educational program at the moment. It will comprise technological as well as economic aspects. What you see here on this activity list as well is how crucial it is to have the TU Dortmund as a partner, not only for the education program, but especially for the research and demonstration activities. Because as Professor Carter mentioned, we can combine two different perspectives, which is really a win-win situation. Not only for us and for the TU Dortmund, but especially for our partners and even for our students and employees, because they will gather a first-hand experience what it really means to transfer knowledge into real application. So, together with the TU Dortmund and other partners, we not only have the F3 Factory project, but we also have two other projects running. One is called Moby Dick, and the rationale for that is quite easy, because the factory of the future not only has to produce chemicals, but also biological products. It's a project funded by North Rhine-Westphalia, and today we have the project leader here, Andrea Fester, and she will explain it in a post in a minute what this project is about. Another project is called Correct, which is basically an alliance between energy producers and chemical industry, where we try to convert and utilize COW, carbon dioxide. It's a project funded by the German government. And again, here the project leader, Daniel Wichmann, is here and explain you in a minute what the project is about. Of course, we have a poster of the F3 Factory project. The two projects leader, Tobias Grömping and Sigurd Buchholz, will show you there is something about it as well. But this is only a start. I understood clearly what you mentioned, Professor Plischke. We will be focused, and we will never be narrow-minded, because we're totally aware that there are a lot of other projects out there, a lot of interesting production technologies, and we are more than eager to have a look on them and to demonstrate their feasibilities. Because what we heard is that Invite also has a vision for itself. We would like to become one of the leading centers in terms of process technologies, and therefore we have to do something. With this spirit, we are setting out our company. 1 month ago, we have finalized the construction. Since 2 weeks, we live in our new offices. Our current priority is the staffing of the team. Beginning of 2012, we will present you a team with more than 20 professionals out of TU Dortmund, biotechnology service and external experts. So we are creating jobs, which is one of the main purposes of the stimulus programs from the government. Well, we are confident and convinced that there are basically 3 points where Invite could add value to our joint projects. First of all, our strong partner networks. BTS, with all the experience in process technology. TU Dortmund, with the biggest faculty in chemical and biochemical engineering, and with the partners you've seen before. We are very clear about the fact that a strong partner network will really make a difference, and we will do everything to sustain and expand our networks. Our experienced staff will add value, and last but not least, our unique infrastructure. So kindly accept our invitation to join projects, and we will prove that this was on the slide was not only a lip service. With that, I would like to finish my short introduction of the startup company Invite, but I shouldn't finish before saying a big thank you. A big thank you to all institutions and people who helped to make this happen. It's the Ministry for Innovation, Science and Research in North Rhine-Westphalia, Bayer Technology Services, TU Dortmund, the F3 Factory Consortium, and the current Invite team. And what you see on this slide is there have really been a lot of people involved in that. Let me personally thank at the Dortmund side, Mr. Professor Schembecker, who together with the ex-BTS guys, Helmut Motes and Achim Noack, made this happen. The new kids on the block, Dirk van Meerwenne and Günter Bachleckner at BTS, they really continue to support strongly Invite. Thanks for that. I would like to thank especially the construction team, Florian Lipski and our architect Stefan Brinker, who really made a nice building. We will see it in a minute. And I would like to thank especially my predecessor, here you are, Michael Lorenz, and the current Invite team, who really worked like hell in the last couple of weeks. To starting up a company from the scratch was really something very, very laborious as an experienced person in the next couple of weeks. So thanks for that. And I should mention much more people, Walter Schinkers, Vicky Gard, and so on and so on. So when I forgot to mention you, or even put you on the list, so kindly don't take it personal, but just accept my general thank you for everybody supporting Invite. Let me finish with a few housekeeping remarks. As I mentioned, we have prepared posters for you. The F3 factory poster you will see in our pilot plant. The entrance is here on the side entry of the tent. The poster for the Moby Dick and Correct projects are in our showroom. You can reach the showroom via the back side of this tent. Via the showroom, you also can go to our lecture hall, where our architect and project leader will tell you a couple of nice stories, what they experienced during the construction of this building. You will love it. So the next hour or so is more or less for discussion and for getting a little bit more content on what I have said. We also prepared light meal for you, so you can take easily that to the posters and wouldn't be hungry. And you will see our Invite team with special green name tags. So in order to avoid big jams at the very beginning, they will guide you in equal groups to the different stations. Then of course you are free to move in the building as you wish. But when you have any question, kindly go to the Invite team and they will help you whenever they can. So let me finish with two questions, or with two bags. First of all, talk with us, because our team really looks forward for the discussion with you. And second, please talk about us. We are strongly committed to become one of the leading centers for innovative process technologies in order to realize our vision. A vision of standardized containers like on that sketch in a future production plant. But it is not just a vision. We are in the middle of the realizing of our dreams. Only 2 years after having finished or having kicked off the F3 factory project, we're not only able to present you a fully functional backbone facility, we are also able to present you our first container. I shouldn't enter into detail, but what you see here is a container which is able to produce 2 chemical reaction steps out of a 5-step reaction, which is necessary for our biohealthcare guys to make a cancer drug. This cancer drug is still in the development phase, but this can work. And actually, what the healthcare guys are doing is something very cool. Because we are all aware that a shift in the technology platform from batch to Conti is only possible if the new technologies are much better. Unfortunately, there are almost never true comparison available. In that sense, the healthcare colleagues will help us quite a lot, because in parallel to our container, they perform the same reaction steps in a traditional batch mode. So we will have the unique chance to really prove the full potential of our technology in a true competition. And needless to say that we are confident that we will outperform the traditional batch setup. So let's wait and see. You also will have the possibility to visit the batch container. Lars Frier from the team and his colleagues will be more than happy to answer your question on that. But I would like to make one safety announcement. It's a pilot plant container. So you don't have to worry, there's no chemistry inside, but it has a couple of edges. So when you have a too close look on that, kindly take care that you don't get injured or lost. With that, I would like to thank you again for joining the opening ceremony of Invite. I wish you a nice day, and I'm personally looking forward for the discussion with you. So kindly follow the Invite team by entering our new building.